Hi, and welcome to Angel Messages with Elena. I am Reverend Dr. Elena Rosalind Michelle, and you can also call me Myra. I go by many names, right? As long as I answer. Today we're going to do the third week of April, starting with April 22nd to April 28th. And Monday, the 22nd, is Earth Day, is Easter Monday, and it's about Moon Day and Mountain, which is Leadership Day. So a lot of people is like they're climbing the mountain, and when you get to the peak, you become the leader, right? You become a teacher. So the chakras that are involved is the heart. It's the me resonation with the soul. So and that is your third eye into vision. So we have the Six of Emotion that comes to the surface. I really love this card because it really shows, like children, and it has a bunny. I mean, Easter is about the bunnies and fertility, and it tells about memories can fill your heart with many emotions. So the moon asks us to reflect back on our past. It's important to remember the past accurately. You don't want to make it so that it's made up and it's worse than what it was, or it was better than what it was. Say it as it is. But we have that today is the most important day to change it for how we want to live our future. So people you used to know may return to your life unexpectedly. This could be somebody from the past who's looking for forgiveness. This could be somebody who is a past life experience. It could be a soulmate. It could be a fated meeting. So children is an importance for you today, as well as in delving into your inner child. So it's important to understand that Ishtar is about communion, and how when we commune with others and commune with divine and God, that all these things are okay to start sharing, okay? And she brings in the month of June, which is the goddess of Juno, who brings people together in matrimony and weddings, and she resides over the household of heart and home. So the Six of Emotions is about independence. So when you delve into that past and you ask Bronwyn to bring forgiveness in your life, and then you have the power to forgive others. And I always say that when you act as a forgiver, you help God to forgive others. Right? How crazy is that? So Bronwyn comes in with February, and February is about presidents' birthdays and rebirth. It's about love and how we give cards on behalf of other people for love. So if there's somebody who is not around that you need to forgive, or you can forgive them on their behalf, I wrote Christmas cards and I said, I forgive you for those the things that were known and unknown, because I knew a lot of things that they didn't think I knew. And I gave them all to everybody that did wrong during my divorce. And I had so much healing during that time. And that was in 2012. So it took a while, but that is something that you can do as well. And then you can also take a letter and just burn it, and it's like, it's gone. It's cleansed, it's purified. Then we have Metis, and she is the goddess of wisdom. She once made herself small, but she was giving advice to her husband on what to do. And so many times women has been like the great supporter of men, but men is going awry. So women is coming to the surface to kind of nurture things, to give wisdom, to give common sense. So don't worry about what's coming. It's beautiful, okay? And she brings into the month of September, and September is the 9th month, but it's the 7th fire, the 7th that when you blow, it ignites. And the 7 is about the bloodline. It's about wine. It's about your journey. It's about divine. It's about firefighters and policemen and all those who are the rescuers and defenders. And then we go into April 23rd, And it's Children's Day. So remember, Monday is about Earth, the Earth Day, and children. Well, then we come into Children's Day on Tuesday, April 23rd, and it's about the throat chakra, which is about the connecting. The 693 is all about the multiplication of threes, the nines, and the sixes. And what comes to the table is seeing clearly. So we're looking at the past on Monday to see things clearly for today. So you might want to go and get your glasses fixed, so to speak. This is about changing your perspective. The things that you thought were the right way to do things may be not so right, and it's time for that change. So you have the blessed gift to see the past, the current situation, and envision the amazing possibilities. So through all the reflection on Monday, then we look into wisdom, which wisdom after the I think it's the waning, right? When the moon starts shrinking again, and that comes into wisdom. So full moon is about mother, nurturing, comforter, and then we come into wisdom and how as an older person that we gain this kind of wisdom. And so this is really a week of wisdom and changing things. Our thoughts, or how we say things, how we see things will change, and how the environment is going to change. It's going to change for our children. It's going to change for our environment. It's going to change for leadership as well. And it's going to change our bodies. So I think that's amazing. And then Ailing comes to the surface, and I want to say, she says, I'm 9, right? She's the completer. She's the one who talks, speaks out truth. Maybe not the truth that you once had, but the truth that's changed. She talks about adaptability and how things are changing so fast that we have the power within us to change with it. And if we don't change with it, we're going to be really stuck in humanity. So we need to learn to be adaptable once again. There's no such thing as anything set in a rigid moment of time anymore. We're going to be moving pretty fast. So Morgan comes to the table, and I want to say she's kind of like the teacher of the myrrh, or the teacher of Myra, which is, bitterness, but through the light of God. She's of death and magic, things that are past, not necessarily physical death, but, dying of our old selves, the carnal part of ourselves, to come into the magical divine divinators that we are. And she's bringing to the table to learn about your divine gifts, because it's really going to be needed. She brings into September, and September again is the 9th month of the 7th fire. And then we have Rhea. They always like to come to the surface. Why is that? Rhea is about flow and is about energy. And this is the most opportune time to do all these things. When these goddesses come to the table, whenever you see this, it doesn't have to be just this week. It could be whenever you're watching this. This is, the time to be fluid, to let the energy just happen, and release blocks within you, especially in your speech. She brings into November, which is our 11th month, and it's the new fire. It's the dove. It's the Shekinah. It's the glory of God that is within us. That is kind of like, reminds me of the song, Blaze, Spirit Blaze, set our hearts on fire. That has been going through my head for like the last 24 hours. So when we see clearly, this is about March, right? We're seeing things and we're dealing with it, and we're getting out, and we're changing the possibilities for anything in our lives that we want to be successful. And then adaptability is January, right? When we see the past, when we can see the future, but we stay in our present, we stay in awareness, and it's about being new, okay? So we, each and every day, we have, day is 417, which is empowerment. It's about change. It's about getting ourselves ready for change. It's to release fear and guilt. So everything that humanity has been doing and divine is doing is getting ready for you to get rid of fear and to get rid of guilt so you can just abide in love, right? Love is so miraculous. April 24th is about the gap that has been bridged. Okay, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, it's how divine comes through and meets us. So our chakras represent the circle, and one half that joins the divine half. This is the circle. It's not going down, okay? Because if you look at how the circle is, there's a circle that's below and a circle that is above, and we're the ones that are below who are bringing Godhead down within us. So then that's how we become complete into how that circle within us. Today is about, again, the heart. It's about I like to hear my heart generated. My heart generates love. My heart generates miracles. And then again, the soul into the third eye, into hearing, into seeing what the possibilities could be. Because there's no such thing as an impossibility, because anything is possible. We've seen that so much in the last 100 years. So the angels are asking, choose freedom, right? Choose freedom. You're going through so much that it's time to choose freedom again. Sometimes we may feel a little blocked and a little challenged, but to know that it's only going to be for a little while, right? And some things we manifest in our heads, and it's like, oh, well, I can't do that, when you really can. All right, because in our intelligence, into our brain, we can change everything. We can change everything just like that. And my thought can change the whole world's thought onto that one thought. And all I have to do is just kind of scroll into social media, and it's like, oh my gosh, somebody got it. That is how quick thoughts can be, and how powerful we are to put in the right thought to bring a beautiful and dynamic change to what's coming. So you can free yourself of these obstacles today whenever you're watching this. You can focus it even by choosing a different path. We have the power to change at any time. We can change careers. We can change what we write. We can change, just like the canvas behind me, I can just cover it up and do it all over again. So you have the power to do that. You can envision whatever. It's endless. So act upon one thing that will release you into that freedom. And again, this is about March, right? And we're in the gestation mode again. And it's just like bringing those out so we can get rid of the rough spots, so that the polishing can continue in all these rough spots. So it's not going to be jagged, it's going to be smooth. And then we have 39, Nick's Secrets. She comes in and it's kind of like, there's secrets that we hold within us that maybe it's not time to expose, but maybe it's time to expose those secrets now, because this is coming into a whole new dynamics. From now and on, it's going to be different. Traditions are going to change. Prophecies are coming to fulfillment. A whole bunch of different things all over the world is happening, and it may be time to have these secrets to be revealed. She brings into the 10th month of the 8th and the bear of October, right? The bear is about earth again and natural cycles. So watch the natural cycles that are going on, because you're going to see those even more exaggerated than we have ever seen it before. So this is how secrets can be revealed, and it's just like, whoa, it changes everything. So there's a natural cycle that the divine is using for all those things to come to the surface. And then we have Danu, and she was the goddess of Danan, who took care of the scattered remnant in Israel. So the remnant is the scattered ones of the 12 tribes of Israel. And yes, they did go to Ireland. And Danu gives us assurance and trust and faith that everything is working out just how it should be. And she is here to help you to assure yourself, if you choose freedom, you will get freedom in all of its forms. So she has the power of the March assigned to her as well. See, they keep coming to the surface. So then we have ocean, which I like the sound of ocean because it sounds so deep and so powerful. And how an ocean, you never want to turn your back on an ocean because there could be a wave that just comes to get you. But anyways, the ocean is as deep as our generosity. And she tells us that whatever gifts that we have been given, we need to share. We need to make sure that there's something that is left for somebody else to learn from, to be generous, to bless others as others have blessed us. And that is part of the paying forward. And she's also assigned to the month of October. So the 8th month, or the 10th month of the 8th, which is abundance, and it's, you know, looking into the natural cycles. So today we go into on the 25th of April, and this is about blessed of the living water, and it's about connecting with family and empowerment of a solar plexus. So when you go through the heart and go down the solar plexus, that is how healing comes in, through your heart, and then it's through our heart that raises up into the connections into their throat chakra. So I like this card on the 9 of action because I call it Mary and her little lambs. Mary is actually the reflection of God. She's the Shekinah, the glory, the things that you can't see that we're going to be seeing, and she's taking care of her little lambs. We are all called like sheep because we are the ones that keep following, but there's certain ones, like I am also a Capricorn, that Capricorn, we're natural leaders, right? People follow us. So you know, the little sheep will follow whatever other leader it is coming. Or whoever feeds them, whoever gives them water, whoever gives them the right food, whoever clothes them. Those are who the sheep is going to follow. So it's just, you know, just kind of be reminded what these little sheep are, you know, going to follow the right woman who is coming to the surface. So this is like a celebration of, you know, you're working so hard to create the things that you are cherishing to your life. You have most loved things, you know, material things, your family things, and now to know that these things are protected. So if you ever wonder if you're being protected, you're being protected, and you're asked to protect your environment and the wildlife around you. We're coming into a time that is coming even more so than just the wildfires or just the floods. I mean, there's a lot more things that are happening out in the world, and you know, we can just, you know, go and cover them again with prayer or with our thoughts and intentions today. So we have Yuko Onna, who is reversed, and she's about stillness. So you may feel a little unrest today. This is what her card looks up. She kind of looks like the winter. So you may feel like it's always going to be winter, right? In Proverbs 31, it says that this woman, the Kahil, the virtuous woman, does not fear for winter. So I kind of knew there was a lot of winter things that were coming because that is the end of times prophecy to bring us into the new beginnings. And it's all about winter and unrest. So if we have unrest, we want to, you know, come and try to turn that back upright so that we have the stillness, we have the peace. And this is the month of December is attached to this. This is about, you know, opening up our chakras, all these little lights, so that we have one big bright light that of a completed person that shines through. This is also about the gift of God who has given you, and that there's also the Eve, which is the feminine, and we also have New Year's Eve, which is Eve's New Year. Eve is vitality of life, so she also comes to the surface as well. So, and then we also have Spider Woman, which is also assigned to December, and she is about weaving, sending out threads of bonds and going to different places, and how on social media we have a weave that's going on so that you can connect with YouTube or to Facebook or Instagram or back to your web page or wherever you want to go. This is about the webs. It's not about anything that has to do with non-truth, but all about truth and finding each other. Because, right, this is about the throat and the connecting. So she's connecting. She's also creator who is helping us to create beautiful and wonderful things. When we get back into that stillness, if you have a little unrest, go and get something and start painting. That will help with that unrest that you're feeling. And then again, Kali of liberation, she comes through. So the day before we talked about, choose freedom. Well, she's like, well, I'm here to liberate you. I am here to give you that freedom. We have that choice to have freedom, but you have to say, yes, I want freedom. Because the angels and the divine is just waiting to unshackle you. And, then the sky's the limit. Then you can shine bright. Then you can, attend and get all this abundance and, the manifesting fools that we are. And then the Night of Action plus Kali is about the month of June, which is Juno again, who comes and she brings people together in weddings and unity, and she resides over the home and heart of the couples and of families. So April 26th is about being purified and loving on. So it's about moving forward. It's about we get out of the trench and then we're free. Then what do we do? So this is the day of Friday that we go and we love on now. We just don't move on, but we use our hearts. And this has to do with your heart chakra today and your root system into the U, which is the female sheep, which is Rachel. Rachel means the U, which is EWE. And what comes to the table is to wish upon a star, right? This is celebration. This is, receiving things with gratitude and with joy and to celebrate. And if you see this, right now, do a little happy dance. Woohoo! Every time I get something, I play Yahtzee a lot. So when I get Yahtzee and it's like all at one time, woohoo, I celebrate. Or it's unexpected and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to celebrate. Because those are the things that, those are victory. This is the victories. It's like all of these difficult times are falling away. And the light at the end of the tunnel is the wish that you have wished for. Is that star on top of the Christmas tree, right? And we have that star. And there's a lot of alchemy that is involved with this as well. So the timing is right to make any long-term goals that you are wanting to make for a more joyful future. Have the faith that things are turning out beautifully, okay? So it's working into our favor. And this is about March. So it's like, this is a part of getting ready to emerge and get ready to birth. And it's like, what do you really want? Because those things are coming. And the angels are really working for those things. Divine is working with you to get those beautiful things that we bring us happiness and joy. Right? Because don't we want to just go around and being happy and sharing that with others? So Persephone, she is about an experience. And sometimes a lot of people think, I don't have that kind of experience. Well, you know what? None of us did when we first started. I didn't even have experience talking on video except for like 6 years ago. And it was very, very, very intimidating. And then I started doing cards and oracle cards that I'm like, I don't know why Divine wants me to use them, and I love them because it gives me a whole different perspective of biblical and prophetic things. And then it hones down into I know instead of, oh, I just don't know, right? Because then you're asking the right questions. So, is it that the inexperience is that you're not asking the right questions, or your vision is not that clear. So this is the time to do a vision board, because the vision boards really do have the effect of manifesting what you truly want. So with a little of experience, you do something and you gain experience, and then you become the teacher. So she brings into the month of October, and October, right, is the 10th month, but it's the 8th fire, or the 8th bear. So the 8th is abundance, is bringing in that abundance for you. And it's the wolf, which is intelligence, is the strength, but it's also honoring earth and her natural cycles in the environment. So Maya, truth, comes to the surface as well. So I kind of look at her as her being the mom, and then the Aleph and the Taf, the beginning and the end, the AT. So it's just like, and everything is finishing to start again into a new cycle. And this is really going to be a lot for this third week of October. So she's assigned to July. So truth is coming out into freedom again. That freedom, wishing upon a star, getting your dreams come true, and your heart's desire. So, I think that's the basis of the truth, is what were you born for? What is your heart's desire? And then when you attain your heart's desire, then you match your heart's desire with divine. So a lot of people do it backwards. But if you follow what is your truth, what is your heart's desire, and then divine matches you to her heart's desire. Then we have Bridget, which is creative spark. So today you may also have all this inspiration as you're walking through the inexperience, and you're thinking, what is my heart's desire? What do I truly want? Then you get the creative spark, and it's like, okay, this is what I want to do it. And this is part of manifesting. So sometimes you have to take an action, like I'm going to do a painting after I do this. And and you'll see that on my future hanging on the wall in the back. But this is the type of actions that I do, is like we can actually create it and then it happens, or you can cut it out and have that attention into your vision board. So I think that is really beautiful. There is so much that we can do in this world. So as I'm pinning this, we're going into Saturday, which is about sitting, being still. So if you had unrest earlier in the week, Saturday is about being still. It's about being refreshed. It's about not working. We work so hard. So this is about manifesting and not work, and actually just let God, right? Rest assurance. That's why there's a whole day that was given to rest, so that you can be refreshed, so that these manifestations, that the angels had time to go and do that, and we could dwell onto, our family and being in the present, because so many of us, we really don't, stay in the present. We're always manifesting. So it's about returning, O Lord, to the many thousands of Israel, and Israel means is the daughter. So it's also about the solar plexus again, and our root system. And our root system brings us joy. And it brings us so much joy, because we're working through fear, we work through guilt, then you have joy, and then you have happiness. And your heart chakra should really start resonating, as I'm, speaking, or as you go through a lot of these videos that I do, because my chakras get fired and get moving, and they actually are within the video, so you can get that kind of energy within you, and learn how to harness that energy to keep it with you at all times. And then you can work with others, and then they get that beautiful energy and that healing. So today is about embracing those around you. So it's just like, when you capture that energy, then you're just like, you admire and you love people. And I love Tabitha. She's one of the daughters. She's like, embrace the daughter's house of laughter. Embrace Ta. Whenever you see Ta, it's about embracing. And this is, you are doing so much important work into your spiritual growth, and also into your work, and to your personal relationships, and to take time today to spend time with family, to call them up, to write them a letter, to make them something, to know that whenever you're creating something, I create on behalf of people all the time. And it's just like, that's how through my art, through my sewing, through the painting, the brush strokes, that I put them inside my creativity. And that's how something that you can do with them as well. So be willing to accept others today. So some people maybe come in today who are looking for a little comfort as well. And they may not come into traditional solutions. And your heart may long to try new ideas. So the creativity is going to be flowing into Saturday. And this is about January. It's about New Year. Martin Luther King, who came up with, the civil rights movement, but maybe not something that radical, but also about looking through the past, looking to the future, but staying in the present. And that is how we manifest. And then we stay on what our focus is, and then stay in the present. So it's trying to smell the roses, to touch, to feel, to really stay in that presence, because that is the real key to manifestation. Then we have, I want to say Menacing. I don't know how to pronounce her name very well, but she is of the past. So when we deal with things with the past, we can, in our mind now, start changing the past. And this is the September. September is also about Labor Day. So take time to rest from that labor. And then it's a grandparents' day. So what did the grandparents do for you, or did not do for you, that you want to change for the future? My daughter is going to be writing into a journal to her future daughter, granddaughters, and great-great-granddaughters, her hopes and dreams for them. And that is, I never even talked to her about that, but these are just some of the things that she is learning that she wants to do to help change, to help get through the things that she's going through. And she's only like 18, going to be 19 in the next month. So those kind of things that you could do to help change the past, so that our future can learn from our mistakes and move on, because no cycles are being broke. Cycles are being broke, and we're starting new cycles and new traditions. So then we have Skuld that comes to the future, and I really love how kind of icy she is. The iciness is another form of water, and it's how it's cold, but how refreshing it is when we're out in the desert for so long. Like today, I'm gonna go and get a cold glass of water with ice in it, because it's really cooling. It cools our insides out. So just to know that things are gonna be so much richer and so much more refreshing for us in the future. And she brings into November again, into the 11th month. And again, the 11th month is also about going through the desert and having somebody help us to plant, to bring in abundance. And then we take time to thank and praise. So thank those who are around us, thank God, and praise God, and exalt him, exalt her. All right, and then we have Bensai, beauty. So today we're taking the time to look at everything that is beautiful. And no matter how you grade yourself, that is beautiful. You take time, and we can on insides, in our art pieces, in our work and industry, and to our families, everything takes time, and it's beautiful. No matter how ugly it is, God creator will always look at you as being beautiful. So take time to really look at the things around you, and instead of looking at it being bad or ugly, take time to get closer to it, or take time to look from a different perspective, from a far away distance, and how really that God sees it. Because when you see it from God's perspective, your perspective is going to change. So then we come into Sunday. Sunday is about the soul day. It's about Sunday, the S-U-N to the S-O-N. It's Divine Masculine Day. It's about raising your solar plexus and your empowerment, and to your feeling, into your throat, into your speech, and connecting with family, and also into our crowns. Not that we're gaining knowledge, but you're understanding knowledge. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you can't teach somebody else how to understand you, then it's just what? It's just knowledge that's not going to be of any use, right? So we have the Ace of Emotion that comes to the play today, and I really love this, how there's like so much love in here. It's about new beginnings. It's announcing a wonderful emotional experience that's coming into your life. So you may meet somebody new who makes your heart aflutter. You may have a new project, like the last couple of days you've been working on creating creativity. So it could be something that you're very passionate about, your heart's desires coming to the surface. It could be a relationship that you're in that is being reawakened, that all the things that you were hoping for is finally going to pay off, and maybe go on a vacation together, you know, something that is going to be reawakening, or even a renewal of vows. It's possible that your intuitive abilities is going to be increasingly great to open up your heart. And then we have the white buffalo calf woman, and you'll really have to go into her prophecies, because she is all about the change, and she's from the Lakota tribe, and yeah, it's beautiful. She comes to us about reverence. We need to be reverence of each other, reverence of our land, of animals, wild animals, that we need to be reverenced to God. So she brings into the month of December to us as well, which she helps with, you know, how God resides in us. But we need to have our bodies to be reverent as well, to get rid of all the icky stuff, and God will cleanse you from all those things. So just so that your chakras can be fired up, just like the menorah was. And there's a great abundance when that happens. And then see, the Pravati comes to the table. So she is about devotion. So reverence, devotion. When you have reverence, then you become devoted. So when you devote yourself to God, God automatically brings things to you. God automatically brings customers. It brings people into your life for either for comfort, for nurture, for teaching, for selling. You know, they may want to have something that you're selling as well. That's coming into this next week. She brings in the month of October. So the 10th month of the abundance, right? Abundance of the natural cycles of Earth, and of the normal cycles of how our weather patterns are supposed to be. So it could be immensely intensified, but Artemis comes to the table and she's like, focus. Now you have all of these things now to bring it into one little package and focus. So you may be changing your direction of your focus after going through the last couple of days, and now it's time to really focus. She's focusing on art, and she's focusing on the things that we have missed, right? So now if you missed something, like you shot your arrow and you missed it, well, now it's time to redirect so that you can actually get that target. So she comes into January, so looking again to the things that we already looked to the past, that we're looking to that future, but now we're bringing it into the present to be focused. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. And we're going to see so much new things coming to the surface. I mean, we're going to see a lot of fire. We're going to see a lot of purity. We're going to see a lot more water, a lot more things. And it's really important to really get to your spiritual life, to where you are in your physical life, because the spiritual life, you're going to be more protected than what's coming. So we are going to have a polarity shift. I even looked at a video that I had from 6 years ago, and it's just like, yeah, because everything in the Bible, they had the prophets do things, because the whole Bible is a book of incantations. It's a book of manifesting it, and people don't dwell into them. But how I was kind of trained to use it was that there is so much that you're just kind of missing. But there is a polarity, not to worry about if you did miss it, that there is a woman here who has already done those things on a half. And this is about everything is finished for all the prophecies to be fulfilled. And now we're making a new world. Okay, not new world as our leadership are looking to, but something even more beautiful that gives us freedom, that gives us love, that gives us joy, and gives us our heart's desire. So I want to thank you for watching, and please subscribe and share. And we'll talk to you soon.